Hey, what's going on, guys? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. We will be talking about the charts briefly today, but I want to show you a video clip that was viral in 2018, and I will be interrupting during that clip to make some comments because it all ties together, and I want to repeat it for any newcomers that have been here with the DTCC, essentially the Fed before the Fed. A lot of talking points that I often use from these people and these officials. And something to keep in mind as you are watching this clip, again, shared by Peter. This was, viral in 2018, and I want to know what happened to this whole talk of mass enablement and lighting all of these corridors simultaneously. Now, something interesting to note is the DTCC, one of the biggest organizations in the world, bar none. Remember, Don Donahue, former, CTO as well as CEO of the entire company. After he left, what did he do? He became chairman of RippleNet. Coincidence? Listen up.
You heard a little bit about the clearinghouse. What I might add is we've been around for a long time, 166 years.
And remember, the clearinghouse, the real-time payments, platform in the United States is all tied together with many technology providers, which we will show. And of course, they're all integrated with Ripple.
We've been operating payment systems, started with check processing.
Apologies about the audio quality as well.
And moved to ACH and wire. And so we're the oldest by far. We were the Fed before there was a Fed. We used to print currency, store the nation's gold, do all the activities that the Fed does today. In fact, we helped stand up the Fed back in the day. And I guess it was 1913. I was not here then. But as you heard, we clear and settle about $2 trillion a day. We are owned by 24 of the largest banks in the country, and I think a lot of you know that.
And for example, with those 24 banks, guys, kind of look at the connections, the investors, and then obviously you can tie it to Ripple. And also for fun, you can even go on, R3's board and look at Swift's board. And I mean, you could even go to SBI and look at how many of the same names you'll see in this ecosystem. Specifically, even I know we've talked about groups like OMFIF, OMFIF, group of 30. It's never ending.
But I think what's important to note is we service every bank who wants to use our services. We have about close to 500 banks that use our various payment rails. And let's face it, in the digital age, which is clearly what we are in today, our payment rails were developed 40 years ago. Pre-digital age, pre-internet, pre-everything.
I always say that.
Actually, I find it amazing that I can order a package from Amazon, have it delivered faster than I get a payment from one bank to another. The fintechs.
And also, before he talks about fintechs, again, all of these financial technology firms such as Ripple, notice that he said 500 banks. Now, if you guys are familiar with the 80-20 principle or Pareto's law, you understand that, with maybe 20% of these groups, they can actually account for 80% of the output, meaning 80% of the transaction volume. So at Swift, you might not necessarily need all 10,000 or 11,000 banks and FIs. You might only need the power players, the top 500. Interestingly enough, we know Ripple's ballpark that they've released publicly, maybe around 350 to 400 banks, FIs, etc. Some of them are tiny players, and some of them are gigantic organizations, obviously like Finastra, which we'll talk about today. Again, those are 9,000 clients right there. And there also include the top 48 of the top 50 banks in the world, and that is just one single partner.
Are leveraging that vacuum, if you will. They're attacking that vacuum, but they're doing it kind of in I would call a Rube Goldberg-ish way. The consumer thinks the money's moved, but it hasn't. The money's not in the account. If it's going through the ACH rails, it could be a 3 or 4 day event.
But quick follow-up on the cores.
So understand, this use case, guys, is not for us. This is an institutional, use case to solve a real problem. This is going to be on the back end, the bottom of the payment stack. This isn't for you and I. This is to help solve the antiquated system that is in place today for the core ledgers of the central banks, period. You and I, since it's open sourced, are just lucky to potentially take a ride on this as well.
And I know you guys are deep in discussions with primarily those three and a host of others. Rough time frames. I know you guys have been working to get this system implemented. What are they telling you?
And so I believe this was around mid to late 2018. So listen to this, and I want to know what specifically happened. If you guys have any information, regarding lighting of corridors, mass enablement, this type of vernacular with updating the payment rails, definitely shoot me an email. Again, that's in the video description.
Roughly in terms of how quickly they could be partners on implementation.
I think the end of maybe this quarter, beginning of next quarter, they're going to start to light up they all have multiple systems.
Right.
So it's
We
been
do.
it's been tough. I think FIS has told us they're doing what's called mass enablement, so they will be able to light up, I think, all of their cores simultaneously.
Okay, so that was FIS, okay?
Mass enablement, so they will be able to light up, I think, all of their cores simultaneously.
So for example, they use FIS. Obviously, we know this is a technology provider for the clearinghouse as well. We know the DTCC's involvement. We can see CGI, again, with Ripple's Intelligent Gateway. Finastra, again, RippleNet partner. We've talked about connections with this group. We've talked with Bottomline. We've talked with ACI Worldwide. I mean, right on their website, as soon as you get there, you can see that we are integrated with different DLT networks, e.g. Ripple. I mean, it doesn't get more clear than that. So again, all right in front of you. And then I Am Legion has a blog on coil.com. You can probably just type in FIS, I Am Legion, Coil, and you'll be able to read all about it. Tying together FIS, Flutterwave with Africa, WorldPay, and Amazon. Just know it's all right in front of you. I know I've kind of gone through this information. If you guys have time, definitely go through this, all right? So let's keep going. Okay, be sure to stick with me, guys. I want to breeze through the charts and then continue with some recent information and news. So no surprise, we know that XRP and Silver have kind of been hanging out at the hip, kind of following each other and taking turns playing a game of tag. We understand when XRP was at 22 cents. Silver finally surpassed and was at $25, so we knew it had to catch up. Now, ignore the decimal places, just focus on the actual number. So, for example, when silver was at $25, we knew that XRP quickly got up to that 25-cent mark. We understand that gold is pulling the market, surpassing all-time high. Doesn't take a genius to predict gold surpassing all-time high during 2020, one of the craziest years of our lives, potentially in economic history as well. And so it's, my bet and a lot of people that have been calling it that we could absolutely see silver kind of following suit and getting around that $29 to $31 mark to kind of get even with XRP. And my question is this: we know on, July 4th, silver, gold, and XRP were all 1776, which was, a very weird coincidence, if you believe it was coincidental at all. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So the XRP community is kind of split in terms of timing. So this is just on a weekly basis. So no, any type of prediction or anything I'm talking about on a chart, if you're looking and say, tomorrow it tanks, Kevin, you're wrong. That's not what I'm talking about. That's a very myopic viewpoint. I'm looking at the macro, what is happening long term, right? So I want to hear if you guys believe that it's a lot more likely that we're going to wick down and touch this 50 moving average around that 22, 23 cent mark, or do you think we're simply going to be bursting to that next level of support around, anywhere from 39 cents to say 46 cents, I would like to say, where the candle closes. And what's something I wanted to do here, we don't see the 200 moving average, correct, on a weekly. Watch this, and we know that these assets have been cutting through all three. So it goes through 50, 100, and then 200. Watch, now I go to 6 day, and look what appeared, the 200 moving average. So I do believe, and I think it's safe to assume on my end, again, do not buy anything based off of my opinion, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, just simply showing data and showing, probably dozens of projects that have already been doing this. Again, Mr. Level Up, Blockchain Backer, all of these guys have been pointing towards, this type of analysis for quite some time, right? We know the regions of support. You guys do what is best, right? Obviously, I have my bag for long-term holding, and I'm always trying to accumulate, more XRP. And it's a gamble trying to swing trade XRP. So we have the 200 moving average right around that 39 cent mark. So what's your guys' bet? Do you think that we're going to go to, let's say, 39 cents before we touch maybe, let's say, 23 cents? Let me know down below. All right, let's keep going. So next, again, Helgren, thank you for sending this my way. I do appreciate it, regarding Swiss Route offering Swift and Ripple in a single platform. Now, why is this relevant? Well, when we go right on the website, we can see. So they've been developed by IBIS. It's IBIS. They're a group in partnership with RippleNet partner and technology provider Finastra. Remember, now they're providing the institutions, guys, connectivity to Swift's payment gateway. Exactly. I know Crypto Eddie, I saw King Solomon, I saw many people do great videos on this, so I'm going to be pretty brief as well. Just wanted to get this information out there. Now, in terms of options, this is how it starts. Internet of Value, everything's agnostic. They're not forcing anybody to use XRP. They're just allowing the option to be there through a single API integration. All right. Right here, Finastra, just like I said. So it's all integrated again with the Caribbean and Latin American regions. Notice $2.1 billion in revenue, 10,000 employees, 9,000 customers, as I've referenced, including 48 of the top 50 banks globally. all integrated with Ripple directly. This is Finastra. We could talk about CGI. We could talk about Volante with $2 trillion per day in payment volume. We could talk about Finabler. It just is never ending, guys. And that is why I am so confident in this ecosystem as a whole, because it is solving a real problem. This is not just some speculative bubble. This is not the tulip bubble. This is happening. And I don't think people comprehend how early we are, whether your belief is we go, up in price slow and steady, or there is some type of mass enablement like the DTCC discusses with lighting up corridors. We will simply see. What's important is that you are paying attention to this asset class. You know the risks. You only invest what you're willing to lose, and you have a plan. I just want to ensure you guys have a plan in place, whether it is to have, a lawyer, a financial advisor, a professional CPA specializing in sudden wealth. Understand the tax implications. Make plans. We've had 2 to 3 years in this bear market of suppression for not only precious metals, but crypto assets. The future is here. It's coming day by day, guys, and it could not be more clear in terms of DLT infrastructure going towards this distributed landscape, the World Economic Forum, countries day by day leaving, or announcing favorable legislation. Custodying crypto assets nationally happened now, literally last month. People thought it was still 5 to 10 years away. If you are too conservative in this market, you are going to be too level-headed and miss out on some opportunity as well. All right? Again, there's a lot of opportunity. I'm following the data, and yes, I am taking risks as well. That is where the reward lies. So we know Brian Brooks even, made that bold statement that between 30 to 40 million people in the United States are invested into crypto assets. That is a huge portion. And again, we still have so much more left. The barriers to entry are lowering. It is simply a matter of time. This is not 2017 like the early bull run. This is not like the late bull run. We are in the position to see some true volume go rather quickly. People think this is going to be slow and steady, and you can hear those people act like they're smart and smug when it's going to take 10 years. I don't think it's going to take that long whatsoever. I think we could see something massive in the next 6 months, and if not sooner. Okay, so understand, guys, 2 to 3 years of price suppression. This is a market cycles. They do it because it's effective, whether it's trading bots, whales, whatever you believe. I respect your beliefs, but just understand that this market's already been moving up with certain altcoins. Half of the people right now believe that there's going to be another massive dump. Now, if there is, and I'm open-minded, there absolutely could be, whether it's a flash crash or anything like that, I'm not going to be affected because I will not be selling during that time. I will not let the fear influence me. I will only be buying if I'm able to. I do not think that would last long whatsoever, even over a week-over-week basis, because at this point, another dump like we saw in March would really only give those of us that have done the research a big opportunity to, triple our bags. I just don't think that's going to necessarily happen. I think the big players have already been here buying over the counter. Again, that is private. We do not see into those order books. This has been happening for quite some time. I mean, I don't think it get more clear. Just like, FIS and Fidelity and their digital asset group they're releasing. We have ErisX. It's never ending, guys. Those that read between the lines are going to make a lot of money. All right. So, I think it's genius. I think that this bear market was definitely effective. Could XRP dip below one last time on order books before, mooning like people believe? Yeah, absolutely. I just believe that we are going to be seeing higher highs in the months ahead, right? Whether it's following the basic TA or fractal, or just actually increasing the volume and transaction size over the XRP ledger, right? All of that will push price up. Question is speculation and utility. It's going to be a combination, plain and simple. All right. And again, something fun that I was noticing is, have you guys noticed on certain applications, I don't know if you guys use, Coinbase or Blockfolio and get kind of notified of alerts. I always get notified when other assets are, up 10%, but I rarely get notified when XRP is up 10%. It still happens. I just think it's a little bit less. But again, that's just maybe me and my confirmation bias. All right, keep going here. Almost done with this video. Love this meme. Just wanted to share it again. Crypto Knight commenting on one of my tweets. I got a good laugh out of it. All right. And then again, Dakota Shipley sharing this. So on his USAA bank account, we can see, this has been available for quite some time. We see integration with Coinbase for a variety of crypto assets. If this were the case in, early 2017, people would have gone mad, but this is happening in a weird, domino effect, slow and steady, and it's priming us to kind of get used to it. So again, guys, we're not really seeing what's being laid out in front of us. Do you think an asset class that is a bubble that's going to disappear would be integrated, and now legislation allows national banks to hold these assets to sell to us at a profit. It couldn't get more clear to me. You guys can call this hype. I just seek tremendous upside, and we'll continue to see this asset class grow year over year in the future, guys. So I'm going to breeze through, let's see, maybe 4 more tabs and call it a day. I know this video is getting a little long. I do apologize. So really quick, again, XRP Crypto Wolf sharing information with China. Bank of New York Mellon, obviously speculating with the IMF, the special drawing rights, talking about the impact of this pandemic, the velocity of money going cashless. We know the soft rollout of China's currency. It's all right in front of us. Groups like the OMFIF to talk about this independent think tank for central banking, economic policy, public investment. Notice London, Singapore, US, similar offices as Ripple, R3, all right in front of you. Notice how much money, investable assets they have at the heart of this network, $37.8 trillion, period. All right. So again, we're going to see vernacular following HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Asian Development Bank, all of these groups. They're all working in tandem, but it's kind of this whole narrative. And I think that they're pushing out the image that everything is very clunky and there's too many middlemen and it's highly inefficient. And that's just, again, the narrative to push so everybody works together for a world of financial inclusion. Watch what the World Economic Forum is doing. Again, essentially, we're the 1% of the 1% meet. Just pay attention to what these, high-tiered individuals are doing. All right, in other news, we've heard recent news. I believe it's Travala.com. So you can book hotels with XRP, along with many other, crypto assets, which is a good thing. Again, this is not the main use case, but we're just showing various use cases in terms of payments for a variety of crypto assets. It's not going to be one single winner. On Cointelegraph, again, showing 600,000 plus hotels to their crypto booking platform. Just cool to see. I know this is a little fun thing. I know people get excited when, you're integrated on Amazon or eBay, but I think people realize now that's not exactly what we're waiting for in this market. We are waiting for much bigger things in the years ahead in terms of legislation. And just like I saw Digital Asset Investor do a great video regarding just talking about the validators on the XRP ledger. Guys, just understand that just like the internet had the top-down approach, and I repeat this a lot, we're going to see a lot of governments, financial institutions, banks, universities running validators on a variety of distributed networks. So for example, the XRP ledger with a validator of Microsoft, or remember Stuart Elderati talking about the SEC. They're actually running a validator on the XRP ledger. They didn't have to come to Ripple to do so because it's open sourced. Anybody can do it. All right. Remember the unique node lists, everything. It just seems like just a very obvious way to do business in the future. And we're finally making that migration. Just like in the beginning of this video clip, again, where did I put it? This is, pre-internet, pre-digital era, all built 40 years ago. It's simply time to revamp this system. If you guys don't think this is going to happen rather quickly, I don't know what to tell you. Just sit back, eat your popcorn, and watch. And again, I did retweet this. So again, thank you for retweeting it. This is Yes, I'll have some on Twitter. So appreciate it, guys. Be sure to tune into the next video. And I am honestly just curious, with all of these groups and these governments and these banks, what do they know that we don't? Thanks.